Good morning, welcome to a vlog. Hopefully it will be a reading vlog because I have some things that I'm currently reading, but I've also today got some appointments. Actually this week seems fairly busy. It feels like there's something on every single day, and Dave's gone back to full-time work now, so he's not on paternity leave to help me anymore. So it's going to be a bit of a busy time, and this boy is a little bit fussy this morning too, so I'm gonna have to go and I'll talk to you later and I'll tell you what I'm reading. Okay, now the boy's asleep, I can tell you that I'm reading my Kindle and I'm rereading The Will of the Many because I'm really hoping to have my reread done well ahead of when the next book comes out in November. And I'm starting this vlog on the 15th of September, which gives me a fair amount of time, I would hope, but I want to take notes as I read and then I'll turn that into a script and hopefully do a recap video for all of the updates for The Will of the Many before the sequel so that people who don't have time to reread can watch that video. So I'm putting a lot of work on myself to do this around having a little baby, but I'm hoping that because I gave this book 5 stars, it won't be too much of an arduous reread. It is a long book, but I feel like giving it a month and a half's lead time to read the book, make the video, will be enough time. So I'm going to try and motivate myself to read this week around all of my appointments, but often if you want someone to do something, you ask a busy person to do it because it means that they slot things in around their schedule. And given that I've got a few things on this week, I'm going to always have reading The Will of the Many like in my mind. So that's what I aim to do, like slot it in around everything else, and also just give myself permission to sit down, because sometimes I get so caught up wanting to do things and take care of the baby and do all the chores in the house. Like sometimes you just need to sit down, and when I'm running on 4.5 to 5 hours sleep a night, it's probably a good idea to sit down and rest sometimes. Also embarrassingly for my last vlog, well not embarrassingly, but as an update, I was currently listening to an audiobook as well, and that is Arcana Academy, and that book has just become boring. Like it wasn't as gripping as I was hoping it would be. The plot is just kind of okay, the characters are okay, and I'm not really getting a spark or a vibe from it, so I ended up deciding to put it down, and I've got 2 hours left, so I thought I would actually push through and finish it, but after thinking about it, it's been like more than 2 weeks and I haven't had a thought about it in my head, so I've gone, maybe I should DNF, because that seems like the healthier thing to do rather than just letting it loom over me, which means that I've got an audiobook slot open. So I'm not really in the mood for an audiobook at the moment. Often when I'm doing things around the house, usually when I was doing chores, that's when I'd listen to an audiobook, but with a little baby I have to listen out for him, so I'm not listening to audiobooks as much as I usually would. I'd probably listen to them while I'm with him or breastfeeding or something, so it's changed a little bit, that dynamic, and maybe I can listen with one AirPod in or something and do chores and listen out for him that way, but I haven't quite figured out a way to easily get audiobooks into my routine. So stay tuned and I will hopefully do an audiobook at some point, but we'll see. Really, The Will of the Many is my priority for the moment, so I will keep you posted on that. So much for not doing chores, right? I felt good after I did them though. Today has been a complete write-off for reading. I had my mother's group. It actually went pretty well. Everyone is a pretty normal and nice, decent, kind person, so that's a plus. I will likely be going back, and I didn't think I would be. And then I also went on a walk earlier today as well, and then just getting back and doing life things like being able to shower and eat a meal because Dave's out tonight, so I'm soloing with the little boy who thankfully is asleep, and I don't think he'll be asleep for very long, but at least I can just lie down next to him and then do some reading. That's really the plan for the evening, just taking it super easy, and Dave's going to be back late, so I'll hopefully be able to brush my teeth before he gets back, but who knows, because with a newborn you just really work with what you've got. So I'm just going to hang out, read, and I've got 3% of the way through my book, so I'm hoping to get a bit further than that ideally, because it's a very long book. This is the current setup, so book, bebe, and that's where I'll sit or lie down, we'll see, because he can get sometimes quite restless in the middle of his naps if I'm not right next to him, so case in point, newborns are loud, man. People who say sleep when the baby sleeps, They don't know what they're talking about because babies are loud. Hello, it is Tuesday and I cleaned the kitchen, so now my brain is a little bit more satisfied, and I've decided I wanted to make brownies, but with a baby I've had to put all the dry ingredients out while he was napping. Now he's awake in the other room and I have to figure out how to bake this. All of the sweet potato is cooked. I just need to mash it all up, so wish me luck. I just spent like 30 minutes feeding him and I forgot to grab my Kindle. Good job. Good job. It's alright, I caught up on YouTube, so the time wasn't wasted, to be honest. I'm 5% into my book. I could be much further, and I would be if I'd just read, but oh well. Also, I made the brownie, but even though it's still tasty, it's drier than I thought it would be, which is a bit disappointing. Don't worry, I'm still going to demolish this whole thing, but I feel like because I had to turn it off and go to our appointment this afternoon, and therefore it stayed in the oven, it dried it out more than it should have. And then this container was too big to cook it in. So lesson learned. I wish it was more delicious, but I'm definitely, like I said, still going to eat it, so it won't go to waste at least. Alright, hello. It is 9 o'clock on Wednesday, and I don't know what I was talking about last night. I think I said that I got 5 or 6% into The Will of the Many, and my goodness, the writing style is so good and I'm loving it, but again, I'm so near the beginning, so I'm hoping to get some reading done today. Yesterday, I also had an appointment for the maternal health nurse, and she does all the checking and weighing of the baby, and after that appointment, I don't really vibe with that health nurse anymore. She was kind of like mildly shaming of me, and I'm doing everything right, so if you could take anything away from this experience, I would encourage you to bring a support person to your appointments, because my mum and my sister were there and they really confirmed and spoke about what I was feeling and thinking, and I thought, okay, well, I'm not crazy, because on such little sleep I thought, okay, maybe it's me, and it's not. So that was just nice, and I'm gonna rearrange my appointments with her so I don't see her again. Anyway, also yesterday I had my mum and sister over for a while, so they helped me out with looking after him while I showered and ate my dinner and all that kind of thing. So I didn't read anything last night because shortly after they left, I got ready with him and then put him down and then went to sleep myself. So that means that I'm hoping to read a bit more today on Wednesday, and I also have an appointment later in this afternoon, but that is for me and it's my physio appointment. So I've now worked out how to fold up the pram, which felt like a debacle at the time, because honestly, being a first-time parent, I've only been a parent for not even 2 months and everything is just a lot. But I feel like we've figured that out now, so I'm happy to put that in the car later, and in the meantime I can drink my coffee, which I just made, eat my breakfast. Hopefully he'll go back to sleep because I can hear him going and then when he's asleep I'll do more reading, so looking forward to it. I haven't chosen an audiobook yet because I just don't feel like one, but I'm thinking the Dresden Files. I'm probably going to continue my reread of those, and they are about a wizard detective and they're just super fast paced. The audiobooks aren't super long either, so they're just really palatable and approachable. So I'm thinking that because my brain needs something that I've read before, and those are all rereads, so that's a good thing. But I'll check in with you at some point soon, and this has become kind of like a weekly lifestyle vlog rather than a reading vlog, but that is okay. Yesterday I also organised, while my mum and sister were here, all of his clothes. So those are the tinier clothes, those are the 000s currently, and I realised that I needed to put more in here. So these are the other clothes I organised, and I realised that all of this side is 000 onesies and he's not fitting those anymore. So I have a little bit more organising to do today as well, and that feels like it's the perfect thing to do when I've got an audiobook to listen to. So I'll see if I can start Dresden later on, but I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. Reading The Will of the Many and starting Dresden in one day, I'm not sure that can happen, but I'm optimistic if not delusional. I don't know what possessed me to say, oh, I'll read when the baby sleeps, because it's like I cursed my existence. The baby has barely slept all day. So yeah, reading has been a bit difficult, but I've done some, and I'm now 10 or 11% into The Will of the Many, and can I just say the writing in this book is so good. I forgot how much, I obviously loved it, I gave it 5 stars, but I just forgot how much I loved it. And I'm just reading about VIDS, the main character, and actually I don't think I've done a synopsis for this book, but it's essentially about VIDS. He's 17. When he turns 18, he must hand over the power of his mind and body to what is called the hierarchy of the Catalan Republic. So the Catalan Republic, or the hierarchy, have all the power. They've been a conquering force, and when Viz was a kid, they conquered his family, and now because of all of that loss, Viz is hiding out in plain sight in the hierarchy, hoping to escape before he turns 18, because once you turn 18 you have to seed your will, which is like the magic system. It's your mind and body energy, and you become part of like what is essentially the pyramid scheme of the magic system in this book. And so he wants to escape before that happens, understandably, and he's in an underground fighting ring. He's also obviously an orphan, and at the beginning of the book he gets tracked down by a particular figure in the hierarchy's senate, and beyond that he has to go to an academy and eke out some secrets because he's got to be a spy. He does a deal with this particular senator, and I'm just going to move you down there because hurts my arm to hold the camera, but he's essentially got to do all of this so he can hopefully find out a way to escape the hierarchy, and he's not revealing obviously who he is and why he needs to escape and why he doesn't want to cede his will. But I remember in the writing at the very beginning, he was tracked down to the orphanage by the senator who was wanting his services as a spy, and when Viz first saw him he was beginning to have like an anxiety attack, and he managed to shove it down and distract himself, and it was because he obviously needed to keep his cover, and he's had practice at doing this. So if people find out who he is and that he hasn't ceded his will, then obviously he's in real trouble, and he could end up on what is called a sapper, which is in the name, like it saps all of your energy and life force and puts it into this hierarchy pyramid scheme and gives your energy to another person, and it's like a jail cell of hell. So obviously he doesn't want to do that. So I just like that his characterization is built on this foundation that is very understandable to the reader. Like, he's obviously suffered, but he's actually showing that he's got some fortitude, and in addition to that he's quite clever because he's been raised in, you know, royalty in his previous life before his family were conquered. So he's got like this fantastic backstory, and he's very believable, and he's also sometimes like confident and arrogant because he says, oh well, all people are stupid at one point when he's talking to the senator, and the senator was surprised that he managed to like analyze something that strongly, and he was like, no, all people are stupid, or most people are stupid. So I'm like, it's interesting that he's got like that sense of pride and almost arrogance and rage sometimes, but then he's also so clever, and it really like gets across that he's, you know, 17 and full of rage and trauma, but he's also, you know, this character who's very intelligent and trying to do his best at the same time. All right, I'm back. The boy had just finished feeding. Oh, today's been a day. Anyway, I'm just loving the character in this book, and I'm loving my reread. I'm loving the way it's built. I'm loving the writing style. It's just so good. And again, I'm still so early in, so I haven't even got to like the action part of it, and the characters actually showing how they use will. So, you know, it's obviously going to build to a crescendo, and I think, the second time around reading it, I'm probably going to understand it a lot more than I did the first time, because there is a bunch of stuff about the world building that really surprised me in a good way, and I feel like I've got a bit more of a handle on whatever was foreshadowed and built up very subtly throughout the book. So I'm looking forward to continuing, if the little boy will let me, who knows. But I'm just happy that I read more today, and I also had some clothes that I put away, so that was great. And yeah, I've got an appointment coming up soon, so I'll probably load up the car way ahead of time, because I found that having a baby, if I need to be somewhere at 3 p.m, for example, 3 p.m. today, I needed to have started to prepare yesterday, which is partly an exaggeration and partly not. I don't know if people can relate, but anyway, I will probably talk to you soon, but I'd like to get some more reading in before I update again next. I also forgot to mention that because I obviously am filming this vlog, I'm rereading, I want to take notes and everything and then do my recap like I said earlier. Playlist linked below, by the way, if I actually get to it. I'm like, oh no, I actually have to figure out how to pronounce all of the names in here, and I'm struggling. Like, Ulquior, my mind just goes Excelsior, and that's not correct. And then the place that Viz, our main character, was from is called Sus, S-U-U-S, and my mind is like, sus, no, that's not right either. So, you know, my poor sleep-deprived brain, if that wasn't enough, now I have to figure out how to pronounce all these places in this fantasy book. Why, hello, it is Thursday night. I would like to report that I have done some more reading. I'm now 15% into this book, and I am loving every second. Although, stopping to take notes is really making me, like, even doubly, triply appreciate this book. Doubly because it's a reread, triply because I'm taking notes. And it's just got so much detail and depth to it, and I can see, like, I agree, very subtle foreshadowing, and it's just, it's hitting all the right notes. There's such great world building. It's all very much mentioned in how Viz interacts with the different characters that he sees along the way. So Ulcisor or Ulcisor is the senator that I mentioned earlier, that I don't know how to pronounce his name properly. And then there was also another character as well that was part of a rebellion, and she was like, we have set up this particular meeting with you and the senator because he's been looking for someone of your skill set for a while now, and we feel like if you worked for us, you're our ticket into X, Y, and Z. So he's now, Viz, has to choose between, you know, going to the academy for Ulcisor or himself or this rebellion. And the rebellion's basically a schmozzle, so he doesn't want a bar of either of them, and he doesn't want to cede his will. So he's like, no. So it's all just setting up such good characters and interactions and potential. And I'm just going to rave about this book every single time I can because it's so good. And I have such high hopes for the sequel. And oh my god, if my 2025 curse of sequels being crap really hits this one, I am not going to be okay. I'm not going to read anymore. I'm just going to retire as booktube. No, I'm not. I'm being dramatic, but I really hope. I know. The little boy says it all. He's a very hungry lad, but I would also like to make it known that I am also a very hungry lady, and I needed snacks. So today I went out and I bought snacks, which doesn't sound like anything, but if you're a mum or a new mum, then you would appreciate how difficult that would be. So I took him, I took the carrier, I took shopping bags. I initially forgot them and had to turn around and come back. And the whole time he was in the car and I was like, oh, please don't crack it. But he was good. He was good the whole time. He fell asleep on me when I was shopping and he came home and he was calm on the drive home. He's only chatty now because he's starting to get hungry and I've just changed his nappy so he's like awake. So we had a successful trip and now I have snacks and now I have food for tomorrow and the rest of the week, and I have extra nappies because he was running out. It was just such a successful night and I'm kind of in awe that I did it. So first time mum things achieved. And then my last important announcement is, look, he's got apple pants on. Oh, I can't deal with how cute they are. It's me again. I don't really have much to add because it's now Saturday night and I have not done any reading today or yesterday. And, you know, sometimes that just happens. And that's why I've put this reread for plenty of lead time before The Strength of the Few comes out in November. So I'm not too fussed that I haven't read in 2 days. What I did do is rewatch Pitch Perfect, and I'm probably going to do the sequel as well tonight. So Dave's out for dinner, and that's why I'm just hanging out with the boy solo. But yeah, I'm pretty tired. I slept pretty badly last night, so I don't really want to focus on reading. I need to update the notes that I'm taking, so I'm kind of holding myself back from continuing reading. Otherwise I have to flick back and forth and write down names and stuff. So I'm like, that is in the too hard basket for now. I'm just going to chill out. It's 6:30 at night. I've just had dinner and the boy is full of beans. So I'm probably just going to, bless you, prepare some dessert, sit down after I've changed him, and then while I feed him again and feed myself, I will watch more of Pitch Perfect, the second movie. So it's just a chill night, and honestly that's how it's got to be sometimes. I'm trying not to beat myself up about not reading, but it's okay. I've got this, it's okay. What especially kills me is that I'm loving this book so much, but motivation-wise I've just got zero to read. So I'm like, oh, but I really want to, but also I just cannot be bothered. I can't be bothered. So a movie is just so much easier tonight. I keep planning to sign off and then I don't. But I realized I haven't told you about my audiobook situation and it feels like I'm in an audiobook deficit. I really don't feel like listening to anything. I do feel like I'd enjoy the Dresden Files. I think a reread is pretty safe territory for me. Bless you again. But I honestly just don't feel like listening to an audiobook at all at the moment. So I think I'm just going to let my instincts tell me what to do. So I'm probably going to wait, and then if anything comes up at Libby that I'm interested in, I'll take that on, or I'll start the next Dresden book. I don't even know what one I'm up to. I think book like 7, maybe 8 in the series, Blood Rights, or further than that. So I'll just play it by ear, which isn't supposed to be a pun, but now that I think about it, it might be. I also saved my brownie by adding Greek yogurt. This is a sweet potato, cacao, baking powder, almond meal, maple syrup for sweetener. Yeah, it was like a healthy quote-unquote brownie. But, you know, obviously still chocolate, otherwise I wouldn't bother eating it. And yeah, it was too dry, so now I have a solution. It kind of looks like chocolate ripple cake, which is one of my favourite desserts, so I'm not complaining. Good morning. Let's pretend it's Sunday. It is indeed not. It is Monday because I didn't vlog or read at all over the past day and a half. So I should have just ended the vlog in the last clip, really. I basically haven't done any more reading. I haven't caught up on my script for the Will of the Many recap either, but I did sit with Dave and we ended up watching the rest of Daryl Dixon, which is a great Walking Dead spin-off. It's a spin-off that's actually good. Usually with spin-offs I have no hope that they'll be good, but this one is really like holding its punches and it's great. And then we also caught up on an anime that we're watching, Dan to Dan, as well. So we just did a lot of TV watching and I didn't do a lot of reading, so we just hung out all three of us together, which was really nice. But that is the end of this vlog. Sometimes I just want to read and I don't, and that's just the way it is. With a newborn, I'm really just learning the new lay of the land, which is constantly changing, and I am loving it. I am exhausted, but I'm loving it as well. And you know, last night was a little bit hard, but today will be a nice day, so I'm looking forward to it. But that is it for this vlog. I'll see you in another video coming up soon, and like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.